Hello, this is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com and welcome to today's video. We are going to be making a great card using the new Beautiful Bouquet and Tree Rings stamp sets. If you look right in front of you, you see the Beautiful Bouquet and it is very beautiful. There's 37 stamps. You get a ton of sentiments, a ton of images in a variety of different sizes. This stamp set is great. It just works. It has coordinating framelits that go with it. And I really think that you're going to enjoy the card that I have for you today. So let's get started making our card. Stampin Success magazine is for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators only, and during the month of July, there's a lot of promotions going on, and I would love for you to join my team. Inside that magazine is the card that we're going to be making. It's extremely beneficial for demonstrators. It does everything for you. You really don't have to plan anything for classes, workshops, nothing. I love it. It's a fabulous resource, and I'm talking with my hands, forgetting I was going to do a voiceover. So as you can see, once again, there's our stamp sets. There's going to be links in the blog post and measurements and everything that you need at cindybdesigns.com. Just type in Beautiful Bouquet and this blog post will come up along with this video. That tree rings background stamp is so awesome. Totally on trend. I love it. And wait till you see what we do with it. And there's a closer peek at the stamp set. Sentiments, smaller images, medium-sized images, and then the larger ones on the bottom. There are 2 6x4 stamp sets in there. There are the coordinating framelits, and I swear there's one for every single image in that stamp set. I will link to in the video description where I pick up those magnets that I use, and I already have done a video as far as when catalogs switch out and everything like that, how I take out that sheet right there and I will pop it into a stamp set that's retiring that does not have thinlits or framelits that coordinate with it. And that way I just keep on recycling my DVD holders with the magnets in them. And it's a money saver. We're going to go over the materials that we need real quick besides our 2 stamp sets. We're going to be using 1 3/4 circle punch. We're not going to be using the scallop punch. I didn't like the way that it looked. When I put the card together, I realized that the circle punch worked better with the tree rings. We have some silver metallic thread that we are going to be using. We're going to do a nest behind the circle. Inks, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Light, Peekaboo Peach. We're not going to be using Pool Party and Smoky Slate. For our cardstock, we are going to be using Pear Pizzazz, just some scratch. I have several scratch pieces of Whisper White. Then our card base is Pool Party. I forgot to speed this video up. That's why. 3 3/4 by 5. And our card base is going to be your standard A2 size. Top folding 5.5 across, scored at 4 1/4. And there we go. I'm going to stop this right now, speed it up. I was wondering what was going on. The inside, again, that's Whisper White at 3 3/4, cut to 5. And there we go. Okay, I think I have this right now. We're going to be starting out with our 3 3/4 by 5 piece of Pool Party cardstock. I have the Tree Rings background Stampin'. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up with some white craft ink. I don't have a refill for my Stampin' Up one, so I had to request that. And I have an entire background inked up very well. I'm going to place my Pool Party cardstock on there and then grab a piece of just some scratch paper of a color I don't use at all and give that a really good rub so I get a good impression, and there we go. Now there's a lot of things that you can do with this. You can stamp that background in Versamark and then coat it with clear embossing powder, or you can stamp it in white like I did and then coat it with white embossing powder. That just really pops it up, as you can see in that image right there that I went ahead and did before I started this card. So I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. I'm going to get a ton of questions asked about that top really pretty silver glitter plate. Amazon, I'll leave a link. They have gold too. So it's fun. I have pulled out one of the dies for the beautiful Bouquet stamp set, and I've laid down 2 pieces of Pear Pizzazz cardstock, and I'm going to run that back and forth a few times because the Big Shot can cut through both of those, and I'm going to go ahead and punch everything out. And now we're going to take a look at those great stems that I die cut out. I am pulling in my Misty. I'm going to be pulling in some Whisper White scrap pieces of cardstock, and that is what we are going to be stamping our flowers on, as well as our sentiment. I'm going to be using Peekaboo Peach, Daffodil Delight, and Calypso Coral for the flowers. And pay attention to how you saw on the tab there where on the stamp, that little tab, when you stamp it, the image, you always want that tab sticking up, because that way it's super easy to line your die cut up with the die. Stampin' Up is doing that more and more lately, and I so appreciate it. And you'll also be able to see it on the die cut too, that little tiny arrow that will help you. So I'm going to go ahead and get those little flowers stamped in Daffodil Delight. I have a larger one that you saw at the beginning of the video that's going to be stamped in Peekaboo Peach with a Calypso Coral center, and then another flower that's going to be stamped in Calypso Coral. Then I'm going to get them all lined up on my Big Shot with the die cuts and go ahead and crank them on through. This is going to be where I'm using the Calypso Coral to stamp the inside. That little tiny bitty stamp is so cute of the Peekaboo Peach. I feel bad for leaving the stamping out, but I mean, you've seen all this before. I described the colors, you've seen the stamp set, short videos are cool, and we're all about that now. I have my beautiful images stamped now. I'm going to pull out the dies, and you just saw where the dies have that little arrow I was talking to you about. I didn't like the way that one flower turned out, crossed it out, but see, you can see how if you line everything up with both arrows facing the same way, the die just goes right on top of it, fits perfectly. I like to put that low tack tape over my dies, and I'm going to get everything tacked down and then go ahead and run it through the Big Shot. I'm going to be bringing in my Big Shot, and I really like to cram as much on my die cutting place as I can to make one pass through. With the Daffodil Delight flowers, I'm obviously going to have to run it through 2 more times. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Then we'll get to work on constructing our card. And those are beautiful images that have been stamped, and die cut out. I'm going to go ahead and take some retired Stampin' Up! Shimmer, and I'm standing back a few feet, and I'm just going to spray that to give it a little bit of shine, and you can see it, and set that aside to dry. So in the meantime, I am going to be pulling in a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock and grabbing some smoky slate ink, and I will be picking out my sentiment. I'm going to center that up on my MISTI since I am going to be punching it out with my 1 3/4 circle punch. And I'm just going to ink it up and press it down, and then go ahead and punch it out with the 3/4 inch punch, and you'll see that when it's completed and we're ready to, here's my steamroller, maybe almost finish this card. All the hard work is done. I am pulling in my Pool Party card base. I do have a piece of blue greenish fun foam on the back of the tree rings image panel, and I'm going to center that up on top of our A2 landscape size card. Once again, that's top folding, 5.5 across by 4 1/4 down. And you just take a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cut it at 5.5, take it to your scoreboard, flip it around, and score it at 4 1/4, and there you are, and there is the front of our card. It looks so beautiful, and I love how that white jumps out at you. So I'm going to be punching out another white circle from the 1 3/4 punch, just to use that to help me line up everything that I want to put around my focal image there. It is going to be a little, well, it's going to be a collage actually. I'm going to have everything mainly focus over on the mid-right. What's going to be peeking over to the left a little bit is going to be that metallic thread that you'll be seeing. And now I'm just laying everything out. And you can see where that scallop was not going to work. I need a circle upon a circle. So now that we know how my card is going to look, I'm going to go ahead, grab some glue dots, and adhere down what I need to with glue dots, along with the mini foam dots, which are, or the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. They are so cute and so cool. And you see that jag there on the 1 3/4 inch punch? If you get one that does that, please call Demonstrator support at Stampin' Up! And have them replace it. So this is where you're going to see me start just adding adhesive to everything, adding it to the card. You saw how it's going to line up. And I'm going to put all that together, including my thread nest. I'm just going to wind it up behind my fingers and selectively, messily, strategically make it look like I just threw it on there when I really didn't. So I'm going to get all that done, monkey around with it for a little while, get everything put down with either liquid adhesive, glue dots, Stampin' Dimensionals, and then we will be back, because you've seen how I'm already going to lay it out, and I don't know if you're really interested in this or not, because I'm already pushing 15 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. I have laid down my 2 greenery pieces, the Pear Pizzazz, just with some liquid adhesive, Tombow Mono. I'm taking my Calypso Coral flower, put a glue dot, dimensional on the back of that, a glue dot on the back of the Daffodil Delight flower, and adhered that I'm going to be putting a Stampin' Dimensional on the back of another one of those yellow flowers. That's going to be tucked about right there. Now, when I line everything up, I do watch where I put my dimensionals, especially when I want to butt it up against something, and I will put it more towards like the bottom of that flower that you're looking at right there, and then perhaps put, like I'm doing right now, put some adhesive liquid glue on the top and then a Stampin' Dimensional on the bottom, because my sentiment circle is on Stampin' Dimensionals, but I wanted to adhere down. So I want the top of the flower adhered down with the liquid adhesive, but yet I want a dimensional on the bottom left of the flower, so it's even with my sentiment circle there. So I took a glue dot and tucked underneath my last Daffodil Delight flower. Okay, cool. We're in the home stretch now. That's what we're looking like. I'm going to take some of our small rhinestone jewels. They are going to go in the center of all the Daffodil Delight flowers. And then to change it up a little bit, just to make the Calypso Coral flower look a little bit different, that's up there on the right-hand side, I'm going to be taking some clear faceted gems, and I'll be putting the smallest size in the center of that Calypso Coral flower. And you can tell what a big difference that makes. I just think it adds something to that card that it needs. Since I'm running out of time, I decided not to do the inside of the card for you. So this is what we are looking like. I apologize for the length of this video, but Stampin' Up has so much going on during the month of July that I wanted to talk to you about it a lot. And we also have the bonus days, a sign-up special, Christmas in July, a Christmas stamp set that you can order. Go to my blog, cindybdesigns.com. It's all going to be there. It's crazy, insane, and great, and you are going to love it. So thank you so much today for stopping by to visit me. God bless. I hope that you have a great time, great weekend, 4th of July, and that you enjoy this card. Please hit like and subscribe and sign up for my newsletter. I will see you at the next video. Take care. Bye.